Hello and welcome, folks. Jason Witten here, back with you live on Sunday. We have the Open Lead Finals today and the Social Finals. Matter of fact, folks, welcome back to the 2022 Queensland Open Lead titles here at Beta Boulevard in Western Brisbane. Been an absolutely cracking morning this morning in the qualifiers. A little bit of apology from the team about the communication. We didn't stream the qualifiers this morning, but we did get some amazing footage. We'll play that a little bit later on. But folks, the finals will be starting soon, and you can see the judges and the belayers and everybody down there about to welcome out the climbers for viewing. But folks, what we did is we took a few highlights of some of the tops action earlier today. Take a look at this. Well, there you go, folks. A few great shots from some of the highlights earlier today in the qualifiers when it comes to the Open A. Male and female. Also, the social climbing today, which was great. Great to see a bunch of people out today having a bit of a go on the social competition. Coming to you live here today on Sunday, 19th of June. We are live streaming the Open lead titles, the Queensland 2022 Open lead titles. Hey, let's go through and find out who we will be seeing later on in just a moment, who in the qualifiers made the cut. We've got 8 climbers in each of the categories, which is Open A male, Open A female, and this is our leaderboard right now in the Open A female. Claire Hall finishing in first position today, and will be coming out in 8th climbing position. What happens, folks, for those who may or may not know how the competition rolls out, it will be in reverse order. So number 1 comes out last and number 8 comes out first. So let's do this. Claire Hall, Ash Brooks, Atako Nakamura, Judith Carroll, Carlotta Martinez, Emily Curtis, Kate Mendel and Joanna Waldeck. Great showing from those ladies today. All of them getting a top in the first qualifier, and in the second qualifier, they split the field a little bit more. So let's go and have a look at what happened with the Open male category, folks. And you can see, again, eight competitors coming in to qualify for the finals in order. Alexander Tchaikovsky, Leroy Harley, Ethan Naylor, Max Thomas, Sam Futcher, Andy Brown, Mackenzie Denner, and AJ Goldsmith. They will be coming out in reverse order, folks, from AJ back to Alexander. We also have today a socials super final, because out of our socials team, or competitors, we had we had a number of them. 3 climb all 4 of the qualifiers, and we're going to be having a super final, folks. Our super final, Aaron Skies, Natasha Fernandez, and Kyle Houston Connor. Here's all our finalists right now, folks. They're coming out right now to do viewing, Open A viewing from the routes. And as you can see already on the wall, there are some yellow ropes up through the quick draws, folks, and you will see the route each of the Open A and Open A male, Open A female will be climbing. And they're introducing all of the finalists right now. There you go. Plenty of talent here today, folks, ready to get right into it. And in a moment, like I said, they'll be doing the viewing for their routes ahead. And down the end there, we've got our social competitors. There you go. Aaron first. Nastasia. Kyle Houston Connor. So it's great to see that, folks. The socials certainly are meant to be a little bit more fun instead of competitive, but it was very competitive today. So we've got a bit of a super final first, a little bit of a surprise for all of those online and also here in live in the flesh today. Give us a bit of a shout out in the chat. I can see your comments in YouTube and also in Facebook. Let us know where you're coming in from, who you're supporting on the live stream, and it'd be awesome if you get a chance to share the live stream, tag others in it. It's always great to have live viewers getting connected to the sport. Big shout out to some of our sponsors here today also. We've got our main named sponsor, which is Pinnacle Sports. Pinnacle Sports is awesome, been supporting the climbing competitions for a long time now, so those guys are fantastic. Always great to see them here. Another shout out to Physo Cream, Wolf Energy Drinks, Tendon, who do great ropes, and Project Climbing, do some fantastic holds, and you will see on the female A finals climb that you'll see today that will be sporting some holds Project Climbing, which will be awesome. We'll get the team to maybe cut back and follow the routes up so you can see what's in store for these climbers here, folks. You can see all of the competitors now, you know, eagerly looking to the sky to find out what is going on. They have to commit this to memory before they get 6 minutes, folks. They get 6 minutes for viewing. 6 minutes to take a look at the route. You can see the two routes there. On the right-hand side, you can see the open male. And I'll get the camera team to zoom in on that. And then follow up that yellow rope. They have to make their way up through these triangles as you go. And following along the yellow rope here, you can see they're moving up into some pretty steep territory into the roof. It gets quite funky up there, that's for sure. You can't see it from the ground, but if they cut to one of the high shots, I'm sure you'll be able to see how vertical they will get, moving through the roof there and turning that lip. Not that one, but the high shot up under that roof, and then the next shot up, turning the lip, finish hold up there. So it's a pretty hardcore long climb today, and the Open A females is the one to the left, and it does climb on these dual texture holds. As you can see, a few of those black holes on the left there, they're pretty shiny, and you can follow these amazing holds. So I had a bit of a chance to go and have a look at them before. The white parts are actually slippery and shiny, no texture, and then the black parts are certainly a bit of grip. They make their way up there to that final hold. And we've got some exciting action, I'm sure, coming up for those ones, folks. So make sure you sit back and relax, grab yourself a drink, and we'll be back in a moment after this little break. All right, folks, we've got a few shout-outs online. Talia, a bit of a shout-out to Rock Sports. Comp next weekend, yes. Let me tell you right now, folks, Rock Sports in the Valley has a pump fest. Come one, come all. Next weekend on the 26th. Sign up. Should be a lot of fun. Plenty of categories, plenty of people already getting into it. It's great to see such participation in the competition climbing scene, which is awesome. Shout out to those guys, well done. Also online, Allison giving Aaron Sykes a big shout out, go Aaron. And Brett and Nikki watching Ethan Naylor. Hopefully he's going to kick some butt, they say. Yeah, Ethan finished very nicely in the finals. But let's just quickly go back and have a look at our finalists and the scores. But what we'll see, folks, is most of the open female from Queensland. We've got one New South Welshie travelling maybe across the border, only a little way, depending on how far they come from. So it's great to see. There's our finalists for the Open A female. And quickly snap on over to our finalists in the Open A male. And we've got a Taswegian travelling up probably a bit further than just across the border. Welcome to Leroy making the trip. That's our finalists, folks. We also have, like I said before, some social competitors for finals. And in a moment, we'll see them. They'll be the first 3 out. Aaron Sykes, Natasha Fernandez, and Kyle Houston Connor. And what you're watching now, folks, is the viewing. All of the competitors get a chance to set in their mind, in their memory, maybe the moves, maybe the harder parts, the crux of the climb, rehearse it a little bit in their minds. It gives them a chance. They'll be now going back to isolation in just a moment. And you can hear the MC counting down. That's it for these guys and girls. And they're going to be heading back into isolation. They have to commit that to memory. But right now, we will be seeing, coming out very soon, our first finalists ready to roll. Aaron Sykes, Natasha, and Kyle. So give us a moment. We'll be back for those guys ready to climb real soon, right after a little message from one of our sponsors. All right, folks, won't be long now. Our social climbers, the shootout final, the super final for those guys, will be starting real soon. The A finalists, male and female, have already had their viewing, and they'll be sitting in isolation for the moment. But first, our social climber will be our first social climber on right now, and they'll be out real soon. They'll be doing top rope, folks, and here he comes. They got Aaron Sykes. The crowd goes wild. And it's great to see a bit of a social section for these climbers today. Getting involved, Aaron having a bit of fun. As you can always see, folks, there's lots of safety measures taken here when it comes to the climbing competitions. Big shout out to Sports Climbing Queensland and all of the volunteers. We've actually got a bunch of volunteers on the live stream crew as well, so a shout out to those guys, fantastic. And a shout out to the MC and all of the volunteers Sports Climbing Queensland brings along. We wouldn't be able to do these events without those guys. And a big shout out to Beta Boulevard here, the venue that we're holding the event on this weekend. It's always fantastic to have you guys letting us use your venues. We know it takes a bit of effort, so we really do appreciate it, folks. So there you go. Give those guys a bit of a shout out. Follow them on their socials and or come down and have a bit of a go. But right now we're going to see our first competitor, Aaron Sykes, on the social. Now this was one of the qualifiers yesterday, folks, in the Open B. And the crowd goes silent, waiting for the first move to begin. And get him going. All right, Aaron, let's have it. Aaron did well in his qualifiers. A little bit of a tricky one, this one. Right, quite thin. And we've got some tricky stuff up a bit higher. this is where the work begins on this climb. This next between these two triangle volumes, you can see him talking down to calling out down to the judges, just saying, "Hey, is the arete on?" Over to his left there. You can't really see it from this angle, but there's a nice little corner that he can be putting his hand on, and doing quite nicely here. But this is where it starts, folks. It really gets nice and stingy right now. Small fingers and very small feet. You can see him just trying to make it work. Oh, well done. Good work, Aaron. So this is an on-site format, folks, which means you come out and you have one go, and it's your first go. It's the first time you've climbed that climb. You're able to see it prior to that, and that's it, done. How does it score? How do we score in the lead and the social climbing? Well, folks, what happens is each one of the climbing holes is designated a point, and the points for the hand holds, not the feet holds. Some of the smaller ones don't count, but as you progress up the wall, each one of those holds are scored, and you will be given a point for each one you take control of. And that is how you get scored. What happens if you are progressing along the climb and you make a move to the next hold, but you don't control the next hold? Well, it's called a plus. Let's say you made it to the 20th hold and you went for the 21st. So it would be 21 or 20 plus. You didn't get to number 21. Pretty simple, straightforward rules. You start at the bottom. You've got to get to the top. You need to clip the chains. That means you've finished. And along the way, if you do end up in a tie, it goes back to how you did in qualifiers, and also the time it takes for these climbers to climb the route. Today, folks, they will have 8 minutes. The Open A competitors will have 8 minutes to complete their route, and we'll be seeing one climber at a time, which will be fantastic for the live stream, so we can get all the shots for you today with the live stream. And it will be fantastic to see the top 16 climbers of the state and a couple of visitors bring it on and show us what they're made of today in the finals live stream. Bit of controversy there. All right, here we go. We'll try that again, folks. We have Natasha out now, showing us what she can do in her finals climb here today. Like I said, this one was used yesterday in one of the qualifiers, and it takes a little bit to get off the ground, a few small holes, but not too bad. But the work begins when you get up to this next set of holes between the black volumes. They are pretty popular these days, volumes used. You can see out the back there and behind the climbers right now, there's plenty of black shapes on the wall, and they just allow the route setters to just do something pretty nice and tricky, creating different shapes and volumes and dimensions on the wall, which is quite a lot of fun to climb if you haven't already. Get yourself a bit of that action at some point. But Natasha making good progress, and this is where it really starts to turn on in this little climb, this sort of section here, using, well, at this moment, Aaron has the high point. Natasha just a little bit below Aaron's high point, but young Kyle has it all to play for here in the high-stakes social comp as part of the Open A lead titles here, the Queensland Open A 2022 titles.
If you haven't shared the link to our live stream, please do. It will help us out.
There you go, folks. Bit of a shout out there to share some of the links today. If you've got somebody you think might enjoy watching the live stream today, do us a favour. Give them a shout out, tag them, link them, share the feed. Fantastic to have as many people as possible on here. And if you're here, while you're there, make sure you click and subscribe to the pages, the Facebook pages, and also the YouTube channel. We've been live streaming a few of the events now for the Sports Climbing Queensland team, and also we went down to the Nationals for Sports Climbing Australia and streamed those. Fantastic to see so many people supporting each of these competitions, and it's great. More viewers, more participation, and you know, the more attention the sport gets, as we all know. Well, many of you might know, we are in the Olympics now as a sport, which is fantastic. And a lot of young climbers, especially young climbers like Kyle here, may already have some interest in qualifying maybe one day to go to the Olympics. We have the Olympics in Brisbane, folks, just around the corner, literally, in 2032. So that might be something that young Kyle here is keen on. But let's see how he goes. He's got it all to play for right now. Leaving the ground in pretty good style, young Kyle. And let's see what he's got. We know it gets pretty tricky up around the first volume, folks. Moving up there pretty quickly. And see if he can get himself in position. It becomes quite techy through this section. And you really need to be confident on your feet, as well as quite strong on your fingers. Right now, we're just seeing if Kyle can make it a bit higher. There we go, one more move, I think, for him, potentially. Oh! Come on, Kyle. See what he's got. Right at this moment in time, it would be, I think, right now that he has the high point. We could be seeing our social winner right here. Come on, Kyle. You can see how small those holds are, folks. And he's doing very well at this moment. Only one or two more moves for the top. Actually, two more moves. This one, a high foot, and let's see if he can make it work. Yes! Good work, Kyle. Well, convincing winner there, folks. And other than if there's any appeals in the social category, I reckon you got Kyle's taken out the gold. But a great show there by Natasha and Kyle. But in a moment, we'll have the Open A's out in just a moment, folks. Don't go away after this little message from one of our sponsors. All right, folks, we've got our first competitor out now, AJ Goldsmith. And AJ coming in at 8th for the finals, or the qualifiers. Well, finishing 8th in the qualifiers, coming out as the first climber in the finals. It goes in reverse order. And AJ just going through his little routine here, just making sure he tries to commit a few of the moves to memory. And let's see what he's got. All right. AJ getting a good start here. Nice and simple at the bottom, I would expect. moving pretty confidently through that early section, folks. Nice little bit of interesting climbing there by the look of things. You can see all of the Open A male climbs are designated by the white holds. And he's making pretty confident manoeuvres through here. Looking good, looking confident. And now it starts to get pretty with the business. This is where the steep section is, folks. Starts to get quite technical in this roof, and we saw yesterday a few of the competitors starting to get a little bit of a pump at this section in the climb. But AJ doing quite nicely here. A bit of a technical toe hook in the roof and finding the right manoeuvres, the right moves through the... And looking very strong at this moment. Two-finger pocket there. Let's see what he's got as he turns the lip. Looking quite confident, quite strong. Only a few moves from the top, folks, but, you know, it's not over till the last of the chains are clipped, folks. So AJ now really needs to make a move or two. Oh! Well done, AJ. Well, it's on, folks. It is on. And that's good work from AJ. All right, we've got Joanna now, folks. Going to have a little bit of a go at this, and we need to see how the Open A females work out on this one. All right, folks, sorry about that little delay there, but yeah, we've got our route setter up here making sure that everything is all right on the wall. Unfortunately, Joanna didn't really get too far in her attempt here today, but we heard AJ out for the first of the male open climbers, and Joanna out also. Not a top for either of them. AJ making quite a good bit of progress on his attempt, and Joanna not so much. But next climber out, folks, we've got Mackenzie Denia and Mackenzie. Mackenzie all the way from Queensland. Two competitors, AJ and Mackenzie, Queenslanders. Let's see how Mackenzie goes on his final here today. You can see one of our belayers wearing a very interesting pair of glasses, folks. They are belaying glasses. And a few people would think they are reasonably peculiar and maybe not comment, but they are used in these circumstances. If you stand at the bottom of a climb all day long and you're looking up, your neck can get quite sore. So those glasses, actually, you can look straight ahead and you can see that they've got a 90 degree or a 45 degrees on the glasses. It actually then redirects the view upwards so you don't have to look up so much. There you go. If you didn't know, now you do. There's plenty of little pieces of equipment in climbing that climbers use to make their climbing a little bit more accessible and friendly. One of those pieces of equipment are the shoes, folks, and they are very specialised. You can see Mackenzie using the rubber on those shoes, which is very grippy, to the best of its ability. He'll be finding himself a little spot here, just getting himself established, maybe finding a small rest there. You've got a little heel hook in there, getting over his feet, taking the weight off his arms and hands. It's smart as a climber to make sure you preserve energy as you go, but there is a balancing act, folks. There's a zero-sum game where you come to a point where you should move fast enough to get to the next move, and as you guys saw just a moment ago from AJ, plenty of work to do up in the roof a little bit further on. The longer you're on the climb, you know, the more you start to wear out. So there is a little bit of strategy to that one. Like I said maybe a little bit earlier, the climbers have got 8 minutes, folks. 8 minutes to climb from the bottom to the top. That is plenty of time, let me tell you. You might see a climber maybe 5 or 6 minutes at the maximum if to do their route. So let's see how Mackenzie goes here, making very nice progress along the way. Smart, conservative climbing, making these moves look, at this point, fairly easy and doable. And he's having a bit of fun up there too, which is awesome. Well done, Mackenzie. Getting the crowd involved. And you can see with the clipping also, you want to make sure you do that from, you know, a comfortable position where you're not wearing yourself out too much. Plenty going on, but ultimately making those moves. Oh, come on, Mackenzie. Oh. Well, there you go, folks. Mackenzie done and dusted for his finals climb. Doing reasonably well. But out next in the females, we'll have Kate Mendel out next, and we'll see if we can see a bit of progress on the females final. Plenty of people out today. Plenty of people in the crowd supporting. Big fans of Kate, big fans of all the climbers rolling out here today. Welcome to the 2022 Queensland Open Lead titles. If you've just joined us, folks, give us a shout out in the chat. If you've only just joined, I've seen a fair few people join just recently who you might be supporting today. We've got in the live stream, go Ethan, go Ash, go Em, Big shout out to those guys. Well done, Natasha, Aaron and Kyle with their great climbing from Elizabeth. Well done. Good shout outs. Let us know where you're live streaming in from. One of the live streams we did just recently, we had the grandparents live streaming all the way from Western Australia and New Zealand to watch their grandchildren climbing. But right now you're watching Kate Mendel. Now she finished in spot number 7 in the qualifiers. That doesn't mean much, to be honest, in the climbing world. Some days you can have a slip or two and not be up where you could be. But now this is where it all counts. Kate's got it. One last climb of her competition right now, and I'm sure she'll be ready to put 100% effort in and leave nothing, hopefully nothing in the tank, and eyeing off a top on this one. So far, very nice, controlled, smart climbing from her, making sure she finds the right position for the moves. And a very nice little technical toe hook through the roof there, helping her keep all points on. And now I think this is certainly the high point so far. We've only had two climbers. Kate, still a bit of fair way to go though. The work is not done. Folks, halfway through, or not halfway through, but often in a climb, there will be a crux, a hard point, a number of moves where that might be the hardest part of the climb. The route setters always give some thought to where that might be and how that happens. They might put some reasonably hard climbing in and then put in a hard move, or make a really hard move and then put in some reasonably stiff climbing in after that, depending on how the route setters set for these types of competitions. And Kate making it look quite easy, to be honest, but it's certainly not easy, folks. If you were up there with her right now, her arms would be getting tired, and she's still got a fair bit of climbing to go, but now she can see the final hold in sight as she just finds a little bit of a rest spot here before she goes up into these last moves on the wall, making sure she's got enough left in the tank to make that happen. Looking a bit tired now. Oh, you can see that all of a sudden it felt like she ran out of steam, and that's how it works, folks. Often you'll find someone looking very comfortable and then off they come, or maybe a slip or a whatever it might be. But Kate certainly be happy with that, I'm sure, and certainly the high point at this point in time. Just, you can see her just starting to run out a bit of gas. You think, oh, that hold that she's got looks pretty big. No, and also you saw on her right foot, you can see some of these holds, folks, are actually plastic and slippery. We might get the team just to zoom in on one of those plasticky looking black holes up there in a minute, because they look like they've got some grip on them, but they actually don't. But next, we've got our next Open A male competitor, Andy Brown. Andy, always wearing, sporting a very cool shirt. Seen him a few times. He gets the best dressed at all the competitions, that is for sure. And Andy from Queensland as well. About to do his final climb of the day. As the crowd goes a little bit silent, waiting for Andy to make his way up the wall. We know there's a fair bit of climbing to be done before the real business of this route kicks in. And there's a couple of lower sections which you don't really want to mess up too much, but I'm sure Andy will Andy will make. There he is. good progress through that triangle section right there now, showing a little bit of flexibility and maybe finding one or two of those rest points, but he's moving through. Going to take on the head wall, or the head wall to the roof climb pretty well straight away. Some climbers choose to rest up and take it easy. Some climbers choose to get there as fast as possible so they can have enough energy left in the tank for what they need to do. Andy climbing quite confidently and efficiently at this moment in time. Crowd does like it. Oh, big cut. Now that could cost him with energy there, but he looks strong enough to recover. Shaking out. As we go through this roof section, you've got to try and keep your feet nice and tight. A little bit of body tension just to make sure. Looking down at the crowd, playing it up a little bit. Nice, Andy. And seeing if he can get a little bit of a rest in this biggish hold, but the pump, the lactic acid will be building up in those forearms now, folks, I can tell you. And crowd willing him through this this section in the roof. Oh, nice campus, feet free through out onto this rather large looking hole, but it's not as big as you want it to be. Oh, and that was a pretty good fall. Bit of extra rope out there for Andy. And everyone loves Andy's shirt, that is for sure. And you saw Andy going for that next move, and that what would be called a plus, folks. Talked about the scoring before. Whatever handhold he was on, that will be now a plus for Andy and his climb. So, you know, smart climbing by him, just to make sure he got that extra plus point. It could all matter if you're going for the top three positions. And it looks like we've got Emily Curtis out now in the Open A female. Emily from Queensland also. And at the moment, we do have Kate and Joanna who have climbed. But we have Kate at the high point at the moment. A long way to go yet, folks. We still have 6 more climbers in the Open A female and 5 more climbers in the Open A male. You're watching now Emily Curtis do her final climb of her competition. She's already done 2 this morning, folks. Not able to reach that clip from there. Finding just a better position for it. Still early and energetic in her attempt here, so she should have plenty of energy left in the tank. But each of those clips, you know, if you try to clip 2 or 3 times, add that up over 15 or 20 clips through the route, certainly will take a little bit extra energy each time, and those bits of extra energy do count, especially when you're getting close to the end. But she's climbing very precisely with her feet. You could always see nice straight arms with the climbers, making sure that they preserve their energy as part of their technique. Some of the holes look big, and if you're sitting there at home going, wow, that looks a large hole, why is she falling off it? Why is she not using it? Well, folks, it might look big, but it's certainly not that usable. And you can see the way she's trying to hold it is facing in a very bizarre direction and quite slopey. So making your way around that, doing that section in a different sequence to Kate, who did a toe hook before, but again, each climber has different versions. Oh, And that was a nice fall. Emily smartly making sure she had herself organised. No problem there for Emily. Just a bit of a bang, more noise than anything for the wall. So Emily walks away unscathed and happy. Our high point at the moment, Kate Mendel, but we still have 5 more climbers to go in the open female. And we have 5 climbers to go in the open male. One of them is this person right now, which is Sam Futcher. And Sam just getting the brief by the judges. Balaya's ready, Sam ready. It's time to do his final climb of his competition here today for Sam. Sam looking pretty comfortable here, taking his time. You can see each of the climbers, folks, depending on their styles, their body types, their heights, will climb in different ways. That's one of the great things about climbing. It can suit lots of different climbers. The MC's just requesting the music gets a little bit better. It's a little bit more romantic than climbing competition, so let's see what we've got in the background in a minute. But right now, Sam is providing the entertainment for all of the crowd folks here at this moment in time. Sam Futcher, all the way from Queensland, and doing quite nicely across that little bit of a technical section there, and what might be called the lower crux in this open male finals climb. Part of the scoring and the process, folks, we saw last night a few what was called technical disqualifications. Unfortunately, for some of the competitors in the open B, and what you must do as a climber in these competitions, especially the lead climbing, is each of the quick draws that are there for the safety of the climber and also the other people in the gym must be clipped in a certain sequence. You must remember that as a climber. If you miss one of those quick draws and you clip the next one, so you skip one, you get immediately a technical disqualification because of safety issues. Nothing to do with your climbing, but you must clip them in. That makes sense. Obviously, you don't want anything dangerous happening for the climbers, and that's part of lead climbing. It's part of the competition. And a few climbers last night had a couple of things that they were focusing on, which was climbing across a pretty cool stalactite hanging right there in midair, actually, where Sam is right now, and forgot to clip the quick draw, and they had some technical disqualifications. Looks like today, though, the climbers certainly haven't had that happen yet, and just making sure as part of the process of their climb they get it right. And Sam just found a little knee bar there. You can see his foot high on that small hold and his knee resting on that larger one. Often that's a very nice way of getting a bit of a rest, a technical rest, so you don't have to use as much effort. And Sam now moving into this very steep section. Now you can see him completely horizontal in the roof. And once he releases his foot, his feet will swing around, and there's a big move for the next one. Yes. And at this moment in time, looking reasonably... Oh, no. Oh, come on, Sam. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, folks, you can see him there just hanging out. And, wow. Oh, no, come on. Well, Sam is putting it on here right now, folks. He probably needed that energy for the finish, but the crowd loving it. And Sam really putting in the effort here. Oh. Well done. Well, good job, Sam. And it looks like we've had AJ at this moment in time, the high point for the Open A male, and in the female, Joanna Waldeck, high point for the Open A female at this point in time. And you saw him hanging around on that hold for ages in the replay here. Probably would have preferred to get that move first off and save a little bit of his energy, but that's the way it is, folks. Often you're up there under a bit of stress and pressure, trying to work out which bit goes where. Under pressure, maybe you're not thinking straight. Makes all the difference. Right now, we've got Carlotta Martinez. There you go, folks. Carlotta, originally from Spain, has moved in to Queensland for a while now, and she is about to do her final climb for the finals today. Open A female. She finished in 5th place. Hang on. Yeah, 5th place. Our 4th climber for the Open A females today. And Carlotta about to go in. As we go, folks, I mean, I'll get the team to zoom in on a couple of those handholds she's reaching for, and you can see them down low. They're multicoloured, white and black, and you can see the white parts are shiny, completely 100%, no friction, and the black parts are grippy. They have some friction on them, and it changes up higher on the climb, where the face of those holds become literally no friction, and then only parts of it become grippy. A little bit tricky to navigate that stuff, and Carlotta just coming back down just to sort of see this early small technical section, how to move through that part for her, making sure she gets her hands right as she does these moves, and smart climbing from her as she does it. Just making sure she can, yeah. Well, there you go, folks. Just, you can always down climb a little bit and work it out. It's actually a skill that everyone should practice, not only climbing up, but are able to reverse certain positions that you get yourself into. If you've got the fitness as a climber, it's always very useful, certainly in a competition, very useful outdoors as well. There you go, folks. You can start to see, the light shining off each of those. The light shining off each of those holds there, which shows very, very much how slippy they might be. And Carlotta very systematically moving up the climb right now. Very efficient, making sure she gets the most out of each of her foot positions as well. Because your feet are very strong, so too your arms and fingers, obviously. As climbers, you build up some fitness in that area, in that section. However, you need to make sure you get the most out of your feet. Big shout out there from Nikki, all the way from the sunny coast, watching the live stream. Thanks for joining us, Nikki. Ian from Core, awesome show from Sammy F. There you go. And big shout outs from Rock Sports. Go Andy. All right, Carlotta. Oh. All right. Again, a decent climb there from Carlotta, but not enough to take out the high point at this point in time. But certainly she'll be in the mix. Just trying to get those 2 holes put together. I tell you, the route setters do some tricky stuff up there, folks, and that putting holes together, which is called a blocker hold. I'll get the team to zoom in on that blocker hold up there for me. The 2 holes put together. And when the route setters do that, it also tests the accuracy of the climber. There you go, right there. You can see those 2 holes together, almost in the center of the screen. Yep, there they are. And there's 2 sets of blocker holes actually there and up to the left. And that's making sure the climbers, making sure they're accurate at that point in time. And speak of the route setters, I'm joined by Zach, one of the route setting team who joined me yesterday. Zach, mate, how you going?
Yeah, pretty good. It's been a good day so far.
Yeah, there's been some great climbing up there. I was just talking about some of those blocker holes that you guys have put very nastily on the ladies' climb, where they're a little bit tired. They have to be very accurate with their moves up to those holds there. How's things going for you guys as the route setters? Happy with the progression so far?
Yeah, very happy with how it's been splitting up pretty nicely. The A's as a whole has been a lot better than we had yesterday. It's been pretty close to what we expected throughout each of the qualifiers and now into the finals.
That's perfect. And folks, right now we've got Max Thomas up and Max on his final climb. What do you know about Max? Do you know much about Max and his strengths or weaknesses?
No, not
Max
too
from
much.
Queensland.
No, I can't say that I know too many of the competitors. I know Alexander Chavosky, but that's just because I used to compete against him back when I was a youth competitor.
Back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day. So I can't say too much about Max, but he qualified pretty well, so obviously he's going strong today.
Yeah, so he qualified in 4th in the qualifiers, and certainly at the moment AJ holding the high point at this point. So I think he pulled all stops, AJ, and did quite well at the start. A few of the climbers finding it a little bit physical in that roof up there, which is probably where you guys wanted it to all be. Where's the crux of the open A male?
Yeah, definitely that roof section and then into the head wall is the hardest point with that kind of complex rotating footwork, the big bump.
Yep.
Lots of techie strength maneuvers going on there.
Bit of a campus through the roof there, and it's to a big hole, but it's not as good as you want it to be by the look of it.
None of them are as good as you want them to be. They've got, all of them have a bit of a slope to them, like a little bit of elevation, a little bit of slope, not the perfect texture either. That's just super grippy.
Yeah, you can't camp out on it. Speaking of the holes, we've got Project Climbing. I think are they called some holes, or Project Climbing have provided some of the holes on the ladies, which are dual text. They look like some very fun holes to be setting with.
Yep.
Do you guys like them as route setters as well? Brings another dimension to what you guys can get up to.
Oh, yeah, no, they're a great set of hold. We call them the Oreos.
The Oreos, yes.
The black and white holds. And they're a lot of fun with, the dual texture. There's actually a sneaky hold on that route. I won't say exactly where, but it doesn't have any texture to it.
Well, there you go, folks. That if you thought that some of the route setters might be statistic, you've just had it confirmed. But Max here, doing well. He's getting close to turning this lip. I think AJ was 1 or 2 moves up a little bit higher than this, but Max in pretty good position right now.
AJ managed to just hit onto the next 2 pockets,
yes.
But we'll see.
And looks like he might just need to fix his hands up here a little bit to come around that corner and maybe a match or a cross through. And wow, okay.
It's going for a big cross. Can he pull it?
And kicks over to, and that's where he needed to be. Just get some, oh! Well, I think maybe, we'll see it in a minute, folks, but maybe, just maybe, Max might just pip AJ with one more plus there, but we'll wait for the judges to tell us whether that's the case or not. But well done. Well done from Max.
Yeah, really good climb. I think that, yeah, you may have just gotten that half move plus more than AJ, but very, very close together.
Extremely close together. And how do they do? You know, I think we chatted about it yesterday. If they both end up even or equal, it's a count back to the qualifiers first.
Yep.
And then on time second.
Yep. So we'll see how they end up splitting, but we also still have 3 more competitors to go.
We do.
Come out as they come in, first, second, and third.
Plenty of action to go, and hopefully, well, as you'd expect or might expect, you know, the last 3 could put on the best show of the climb because they did best in qualifiers, but you never know in climbing, folks. This is a format which is called on-site. You have 1 shot. You don't get 2 or 3 shots at it. It's the first go, best go. And all you have to go on is the viewing time. So the competitors get 6 minutes to come out and view and put those things to memory as they go.
Yeah, I mean, viewing time's really good because you'll see a lot of the competitors, they come out and they'll be discussing the beta amongst themselves.
Yes.
So even though they're competing against each other, they'll kind of try and help each other plan the route out and map moves, note flips, all those kind of important things that you want to do during that preview phase.
Yeah, well, it's one of the great things about the sport, really, isn't it? The social and the community. But one of the things yesterday, we did have a few technicals which were quite exciting, and a few almost heart attacks from the judges and the setters. But today it looks like it was a little bit more, I don't know, paid attention to or straightforward for the clips. But we're watching, folks, right now, Ash Brooks. And Ash is a bit of a seasoned competitor. Often at most of the competitions we've live streamed in the last 12 months.
Yep, yeah, Ash has been competing for quite a number of years. She's one of the competitors that I actually know really well because we did train together back when this was The Rock.
Back in the day when the Beta Boulevard was named something else.
Yep, that's the one. So yeah, she's been competing for, I think, since Youth C at this point. So
there you go, many years.
Few years of competition experience, and in the last few years has gotten quite strong enough to compete in Open A here.
Yeah, and so far looking very comfortable and composed. So let's see if Ash can put down a good show. There's still a few of the stronger climbers or the higher finishing competitors to come. But to be honest, probably the top 5 or 6 here, it could be anybody's game depending on the day.
Yeah, well, I mean, the top 4 competitors for women's are currently all tied.
There you go.
Here, so
well, there you hear it, folks. This is it, where you've got the competition making it happen. And out in the middle of the pack, finishing 4th, Ash Brooks in the qualifiers. And let's see how she goes. Getting pretty close to a high point. These blocker holes, we were just talking about those blocker holes a minute ago.
Yep.
Making sure you be very accurate for that. If you want to try and throw to that when you're a bit tired or whatever, that is not the case. You need to get it spot on.
Yeah, they're pretty well measured. We kind of put our fingers on top of one and then slide the other hole down on top of that.
Yeah. Well, I think right now we're seeing a high point. At this point in time, actually, I think it was a bit higher than this, actually, was Joanna came out, one of our first climbers in the Open A female.
Yeah, she got up to the big sloper. That's
2 more after this,
above,
yes. And they look fantastic. They look a decent size, but when you're on them, Joanna was really having a hard time there. Doesn't look as, they're not as good as you want them to be, and that's kind of like the, the theme of it. But right now, Ash.
Can she reach that next hold?
Finding, yeah, well, there you go. And she's starting to get the wobbles on now too. She has made it to that next hold, so that really will put her in good stead from this point on. All right.
Needed to hit that hole with the right hand.
Yeah, got it around the wrong way, folks. Different sequence. But under pressure and stress right then and there, your brain is like, okay, hang on. But not necessarily working out exactly how you need to do it. But at the moment, Ash, other than an appeal or something going technically wrong in her attempt, has probably the high point at this moment in time. So well done, Ash. A few more climbers to go, though. It's not over till the chains are clipped. That's what they say in climbing, isn't it? I just made that up on the fly. Sounds fine to me.
I mean, that is how the competition works. It's the difference between that last hold and clipping those chains is quite huge points-wise.
Yes, indeed. Well, we've got Ethan Naylor right now, and he looks like a very young competitor here, you know, finishing in third in the qualifiers. Do you know much about Ethan? It looks like he might have been only recent to climbing in the last sort of 3 to 5 years potentially, but he's finished quite nicely in the qualifiers.
Yeah, he was looking pretty strong through the qualifiers earlier. Particularly the most noticeable one from the men's was the white qualifier, the second one, where some of those holds are maybe 6 mil in size.
Very small. When you go and grab yourself a ruler at home, folks, and go, okay, 6 millimeters, try and hang on to that with all of your body weight. It does get a bit crazy when you think about it in that sense. And also the footholds are absolutely tiny. Some of those things are the size of a 20 or 50 cent coin up on that wall. So here we go. Ethan for his final climb. Yes. And a shout out to Kelly Naylor. I'm sure she's online. I think we saw that a moment ago. Kelly gave a bit of a shout out somewhere. But Kelly, this one's for you. Ethan is in the house. And let's see how he goes in his last climb of the day. Bit of a shout out from Dumaji as well. A few people dialing in. Lockie Rule. Shell. Nikki Carter. Brett Naylor. There you go. Everybody is at home, hopefully enjoying the live stream. Give us a shout out for who you're supporting. Fantastic to have all of you guys here. And young Ethan, one of our younger competitors, I think.
Oh, interesting. Beta here, going down low.
Going low. And you need to be up a little bit higher to get those side pulls a bit higher, but maybe you can move in. The one that he's holding on to is more like a foothold, but we shall see how he moves into this section.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's pulling through it. I don't know whether that really helped him or just created some excess moves for him, but we'll see. Who knows? He could have the endurance to just do the climb and a half.
And, you know, speaking of endurance, power, power endurance as a climber, what would you train for, or what would be the best way to train when it comes to the lead aspect of climbing?
I mean, my personal thing would just be climb, like climb at different gyms, climb in different places outdoors. The more places you climb, the more techniques you'll experience. And, climbing outdoors particularly, you get to do longer climbs and build that endurance. Outside of that, do practice a mixture of bouldering and hangboarding and all those kinds of foundational things that will allow you to hang on to edges for ages or pull big, powerful moves.
For some of the young climbers these days, they get so strong so quickly, especially with the gyms being available, that certainly, that outdoor activity gives you a little bit more problem solving too, really, at the end of the day, with your ability as well. So always great to see a bit of a mix suggested for the training. Now, Ethan here, maybe, I think, like you said, maybe a bit of bit of creating a few more moves that he needed to in his attempt, but he's got some endurance and some strength so far. So let's see how he goes here.
Yeah, I mean, he's pulling through powerfully. Definitely looking good in terms of his strength, but looks like, yeah.
Well, there you go, and well done, Ethan. Put on a show for the crowd. Are you not entertained? He says. But well done. And again, you know, you can see, folks, there was no lack of power there for that attempt, but maybe a few of the moves earlier on added 2 or 3 or 4 moves that he didn't need, and you know that can make all the difference between 1 or 2 moves at the top when you've got the energy left in the tank.
Yeah, it's not hard to have your strength sapped by a few moves. Looks like something needs to be fixed on the women's route.
Well, it could be either getting cleaned or something going on, folks. But we'll be back in a minute. We'll hear from our one of our sponsors. Well, welcome back, folks, to the 2022 Queensland Open Lead Finals. Just fixing up one of the quick draws on the climb, folks. A little bit of tape coming loose there. Don't want it to get in the way of all of the climbers. But let's have a little quick look at one of the videos that the team prepared before. All right, we're about to get back to it, folks, but we've only got a few climbers to go now. We've got 3 left to go in the females. And next out will be Clear Hall. We have 2 left to go in the open male. But right now, Clear should be on the way out, but in the lead at the moment, in the open A female, looks like Joanna is still holding the lead there at the moment. I would have thought that might have changed before, but maybe that hasn't been updated yet. Keep an eye on that, folks. But right now we have Clear Hall. All right, here we go, Clear now to do her finals climb, folks. Clear, another Queenslander, and she did pretty well in qualifiers as well. Top on the first qualifier and equal high point with Atako and Judith. So, folks, from the qualifiers, you're seeing the 3 best equal, matter of fact. Exactly equal from the qualifiers. Climbers out now. Saving the best to last, they say. And we shall see how it goes. Finding an early knee bar rest. Smart work. It would be great to have that rest a bit higher up in the climb, but I'm sure the route setters discussed that they didn't want to have too many rests up high, keep the climbers moving. I want to see endurance and power be displayed here at the finals, folks. Coming to you live from Beta Boulevard. Shout out to those guys. Big shout out to Beta Boulevard. Thank you guys, for letting us use your facility here. Fantastic place to hold a competition, and I know all of the climbers have been raving about it over the weekend, so well done. And Claire here making quick progress, actually. You know, there must be a bit of a thought in your mind as a climber. You go, right, do I move fast because I know those moves are a little bit more difficult, or do I move accurately and try and conserve energy, you know, or a bit of a combination of two? How do you do it? How do you approach it when you're on a climb? You know, does that come into your judgment?
Yeah, definitely part of the thought process. When I go into it, I tend to go a bit faster over accuracy. That way, in the end, you'll probably end up wasting less energy because you're hanging on for a bit less, but there does need to be that balance, because if your feet are just smearing over the wall and you're hauling on your arms, then you're wasting a lot of energy there.
Wasting
even
time.
if you're getting speed.
Well, Claire moving quite quickly, actually. I think this is the quickest to this sort of section so far.
Yeah,
so let's see if that strategy that you're talking about is actually going to help her out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Claire is a very strong climber. I mean, her whole family climbs.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, her dad's one of the directors here at Beta Boulevard.
Duncan, is it Duncan?
Gregory.
Gregory, that's it.
Gregory Hall. And then her brother is on the setting team.
Well, there you go, folks. It's in the DNA for Claire. And let's see if she can make... Wow, okay, well, there we go. We do have... Oh no!
Yeah, so that left hand that she was reaching in the air, that's the one that has no
texture.
It has a nice satin finish to it, but no actual texture.
Well, there you go. Well, Claire should be happy with that. I don't know if she knows she is at the high point as of yet, but great effort from her, and having a lot of fun as well, which is awesome. And just, you can see her left foot pop just as she's trying to sort of, or is a right foot pop actually? Is that, Well done, Claire. She, I think she thought she still had plenty left in the tank on that one as well, but at the moment she is one of our leaders in the competition. Open A female, Open A male, the 2022 Queensland Open lead titles, folks. Next out, finishing in second in the qualifiers, Leroy Harley. And Leroy topped both of the qualifiers. And we had the top three in the Open male, Open A male. Well, two of them anyway get two tops, and one of them is Leroy Harley. The next climber out, which is Alexander Tchaikovsky. But at the moment, Leroy, all the way from Tasmania. Do you know if Leroy is travelling or he travelled only for the competition?
I'm not quite sure. Haven't gotten to ask him about that, but he's turned up today and he's been smashing it. That second qualifier in terms of outdoor grades is probably close to a 26, 27 maybe.
Wow.
Definitely a tough climb, so getting up that on a flash is pretty strong achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. Strong fingers. It was very, very fingery and sequency, wasn't it?
Yep, those edges, as I said earlier, are 6 to 8 mil in size, and some of them aren't even proper edges. They've got a bit of a slope to them. It's, as a whole, not a nice climb in terms of difficulty.
Yes.
Fun climb if you climb that hard, though.
Yeah, indeed. Well, it looks like Leroy is taking it all into his stride and looking very comfortable so far. Early days yet, though, folks. Fair way to go here. And the high point, it looks at this point in time that Max and AJ are pretty well neck and neck when it comes to the finals high point, but on countback to qualifications, Max in the lead with 2 more climbers to go, folks. Max in the lead with 2 Open A male climbers to go, and you're watching one of them right now. Leroy Harley.
Yeah, he's looking very comfortable, hitting that pocket, just the fingers sliding straight in.
Good accuracy, good strength.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be great to see a top here on both of these climbs this afternoon, and we've got 4 more to go.
Yeah, he's hoping it's looking good. We're getting a little bit higher each time.
Each time. Well, this is where really the work begins for the Open A male. Quite sequency, have the right hands and feet to come through the roof. And let's see how Leroy navigates this one. Looking very comfortable at this point. Thinking he might go to the next move before.
It's very interesting. Other than AJ was the only one that seemed to push off from the other side,
yes,
really into that throw and do it as a bump. Everyone else seems to be more comfortable going across and either pulling up into the throw or doing it as a heel.
And maybe he's a little bit shorter, so maybe struggling there, but showing some power there, folks. Don't worry about your feet, just grab it and pull on it. And all right, well now, you know, he's starting to look a little tired here, getting shaked out, but he's got some decent feet in there, and it's a bit of a blind hold. You can't really see what you're going for, but we'll see if he gets that pocket around the corner there. That's underneath the roof here. Oh, nice.
He's got it. Don't know if he's really in the good part, wrapping around it like that, because it is quite a deep pocket, but if he's comfortable.
Let's see how he goes. And it's all to play for, folks. This is hold by hold, getting a smidgen closer to the top. Choosing to use the small edge just to get his hands in the right sequence. Come on, Leroy. Here we go. All right.
Yeah, looking strong.
Yes. Oh, and well, there we go, folks. You're looking at our new leader so far. Big move on the sloper at the top here. Bit of a gnarly. Come on. Oh, fantastic. Well done. Well, he certainly has a high point, and unless there's some technical or an appeal, Leroy at the moment in the lead, folks.
Yep. Hopefully Alex will come out and top it, just because, as I said, we like to see people get to the top, but even if he doesn't, looking like a good split.
Yeah, well done. Big shout out to the route setters. Stressful job. But today, so far, working out perfectly for you guys. So good job. Well done. And next out we have Judith. Carol. Oh. There's Leroy. Our leader at this moment in time. Now we've got Judith Carroll out for the Open A female. And Judith doing quite well. Judith and Ash. And Atako, all equal finishings or equal standings in the qualifiers.
Yep.
So there we go. At the moment, it's all to play for. Clear just previous, the new high point for the females. Not updated as of yet in our scoring system. But let's see what Judith can do in this one. A bit more of a taller climber. Does that really worry you guys when you've got, you know, taller, shorter stronger, faster, whatever it is. It's, you know, all works out in the wash.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we keep in mind, obviously, the heights of competitors. Realistically, the focus is a bit more on the shorter ones because we don't want to disadvantage them within the climbing. If you're a bit taller and that gives you an advantage, then great for you, but not something that we worry about too much because overall, in the end, the difficulty will
shine through anyway.
Yeah.
Yep. And, you know, some of the... You know, I watch the World Cups often, and some of the climbers, especially in the females, you know, Natalia Grossman and a few of those, you know, they're barely 5 foot.
Yeah.
And they climb amazing. Just mind-blowing amazing. Folks, if you ever get a chance, make sure you check out the live streams online for the international climbing, which is fantastic. But you're watching the live stream coming to you here from Sports Climbing Queensland, the Open Queensland lead titles here today, and you're watching Judith Carroll in her final climb today. Has done very well in the previous 2 qualifying climbs, and right now approaching.
There we go. That's the same point that Joanna and Ash got to.
And I think it was Claire just got out to this left hold out here. A little bit of a stingy move here, making the clip. Now let's see if she can move through this hold. Then it will be... Oh, nice. Even getting a rest there.
Yeah, she's looking a lot more comfortable than Claire was.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, nice. And we might be in for a top here, folks, but it's not over till the chains are clipped. Hey! Well done. Well, Judith, a top. We haven't seen a top in the open male, folks. Hopefully we've got one more climber to go, Alexander Tchaikovsky. Judith's pretty happy with that one, I'm quite sure. But we still have Atako Nakamura to come out next. Judith and Atako. Judith travelling back home to New South Wales tomorrow, we've heard. So she's pretty happy for the trip up here, I'm sure, at this moment in time, in pole position. One more climber to go. But Atako and Judith finished literally exactly the same in the qualifications. So it will come down to, if Atako tops it, it'll come down to the time that the 2 climbers top that finals climb on.
Yep, I mean, to a point, it won't make a huge difference because Judith is an interstate traveller. So obviously she doesn't qualify to be the Queensland champion.
Yeah. There you go, folks. But great to see such an awesome competition here today. Keeping us on the edge of our seats right now. Zach and I are loving this progression, and I hope you are too at home. Yeah, Nick, absolutely. Absolutely, big shout out. All right, folks, we have Alexander, our final open male climber today. Alexander finished strong in the qualifiers. So what we're all hoping for is a top from Alexander. He was the himself and Harley, or Leroy Harley, were the only 2 male qualifiers to top both of the qualification climbs. And here it is, folks, the final climber of the day when it comes to the open male.
Yep, yeah, Alexander's been very strong, competing for a number of years. I think at least since Youth B, and has been doing Open A for a few of those years. So very strong climber, very accomplished,
composed climber, and he should have the experience, you would think, to put him in good stead. So let's see how we go here, folks, with his final climb today.
Yep. Yeah, a little bit of a slip on those volumes. Those aren't textured at all.
No, the ones on the right, the triangles, they're not textured. Okay,
no
well,
textured.
Well, I thought they were. They looked a bit colourful with all the chalk over them, so they're not textured, not as grippy as you want them to be. So you've got to be careful of that sort of stuff. And Zach said that with a glint in his eye and a cheeky grin, as a route setter would do. But we're watching now Alexander making the most of his final climb of the day. Moving into this section with as much composure as he needs, and the more energy you end up with in the final parts of the climb, you're going to need it in those last few moves. A few slopers, bit of a turn of the lip, need certainly a bit of... And he's trying to find that knee bar. One of the previous climbers found that before. I can't remember who that was. I think it might have been Sam Futcher. Found that nice D-bar there and got into a little bit of a rest position, but...
Couldn't quite get it, but he's still looking fairly comfortable.
Yeah, shaking out on that hole, just making sure before he charges out into this, what he already most likely knows is the power section of the climb. And he's got a little bit left in the tank, and there he goes, folks. We know this is exciting coming through the roof here, and
we'll see how he approaches it. Having climbed here a few times, he definitely knows how steep it is in there. Oh no. Yes.
Well, there was smart climbing there. Wasn't going to let the clip sap his energy, and decided to climb a little bit quicker for himself. Oh, and let's see if he gets twisted up here in these pockets.
Yep, yeah, look, as some outdoor climbers I know would say, when in doubt, run it out.
Yes. Well, maybe. Oh. Well, again, we saw this yesterday as well. Some of the climbers not realising that they could kick out to the centre pile, but I think we have, by the look of it, potentially our winner, Leroy. Alexander not making the high point as high as Leroy, but we shall see. You can see him, folks, just as his elbows kick out there. It's always a telltale sign. Happened to me thousands of times as a climber. The elbows pop up and you know you're about to come off, but great effort there from Alexander. Looks like he will be on the podium at least, second or third.
Yeah, I think he secured himself second. I think he just latched that hold that AJ and Max were throwing for and threw for the next one. So I think he should just be one higher than them. One
higher. Well, at this point in time, folks, we'll leave it a few more minutes just to make sure. But and there will be, we do open for any appeals for about 5 or 10 minutes as well. And if some of the competitors or the judges or there was something technically wrong with the climber's attempt, then there may be something go on. But at this point in time, Leroy Harley is in the lead, and then Alexander and Max. And then for the Queensland title, Alexander, Max and AJ. So we shall see, but it's not over yet, folks. We have one final climber to go, and Atako, very young climber, finished high. Matter of fact, first in the qualifiers. And we'll see, folks. In comparison, actually, we were just talking about this before. Judith's quite a lot taller than Atako. And it'll be very interesting to see the comparison of the two climbers, how they progress through those moves in this final climb, the final climber today.
Yeah, I mean, Atako's grown up a bit, but back when she was competing only in the youth competitions, she had a reputation for being quite short and incredibly strong.
Yes. Well, I suppose that's not a bad thing, really, at the end of the day. You know, you could train some base strength when you're shorter. And when you do sprout out a little bit, then you've got the strength in the tank already.
Yep, I've definitely known a few climbers like that. A friend of mine used to be short, got all the technique down, and now he's got a 2-meter wingspan.
There you go. Well, don't fret too much if you're sitting at home and you're a bit vertically challenged. There you go. So let's see how Atako gets on here, folks. And quite a lot of composure for her, and looks like she's got a bit of experience as well if she's been climbing in the competition scene for a while.
Yep, she's quite an experienced climber. Not one that I've interacted much with personally, but I've heard plenty about her. She kind of, from a young age, whether she knew it or not, managed to get a reputation for how powerful she could be and how good of a climber she was.
Fantastic. Making good progress here at Atako. Just a quick shout out to some of our sponsors, folks. Pinnacle Sports, thank you for you guys. You guys are awesome. You should check them out later on, folks. Track down their website. We might show a few little videos a bit later on. Physo Cream, thank you to you. Wolf Energy Drinks, awesome to have you guys on board. Tendon Ropes and Project Climbing on the holds. You can see Atako using these Project Climbing holds, which are fantastic. The route setting team have really enjoyed having these holds as well. They're kind of tricky and spicy at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. The Illusions, I think, is the correct name for them. Lovely holds, and most of them don't really have a good edge to them.
There you go. It speaks volumes, really, doesn't it? The Illusion series. So, but not getting lost just yet. Atako making great progress. And for her, this next move, quite high. And just showing some of that power that she's got in reserve. Don't worry about that, she says. I'll just put a heel hook in and just crank high on that one. So great to see such composure from such a young climber, and doing amazingly so far. So fingers crossed, folks. Maybe. I won't say it out loud. I don't want to kibosh her. We'll see how she goes.
We'll see how she goes. But yeah, definitely moves that are a bit long for her height are no stranger to her, and she's pulling through them.
Yes. Well, I could hear the crowd holding their breath momentarily there. Oh, yeah, but it's great to see the crowd sticking in there and supporting her as well. Just making sure that she knows where she's going and what she wants to do in this next little bit. Shaking it out a little bit. Very strong. Some of those holds, they're not really much texture on them. Oh! So there you go, folks. Final climber done. And I think Atako might have got in there, maybe third. We shall see. The female, Open A female, I don't know if it's been updated yet, but we'll have a little look at what that might look like in a moment. Atako, her final part right now. And the Open A male.
All done and dusted.
All done and dusted. Well, Zach, thanks, mate, for sitting in. Fantastic to have you on the live stream, as always.
Always a pleasure.
You're welcome back anytime.
I'm sure you'll see me around in the next few comps.
Thank you, my friend. Catch you next time. All right, folks. All right, folks. Well, there you have it. All the climbing is done. And right now we will be breaking for the appeals. It'll probably be between 5 and 10 minutes. And in maybe 15 minutes or so, folks, we will be here for the podiums and the presentations. Hang around. It'd be great to have you online. Yeah, and a big shout out to Alex Atako online. A few supporters you've got. And well done, Judith, as well. So great to have all of you guys on the live stream today. Thanks for joining us. Fantastic to be supported. If you get a chance, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get all the live streams coming forward. In about 15 minutes, we will be live streaming the presentations and the podiums. Hang around for our finalists. There will be a chance for some appeals if that is required with the scoring. But what I'm going to leave you with now, folks, is today we got a chance to get around and have a bit of a conversation with some of the climbers here and the supporters. And we did a little bit of an interview, so stick around, don't go away. We'll be back in about 3 to 4 minutes after this video. Hello folks and welcome. Jason Witten here with you, coming to you live from the Queensland sports climbing titles, the Pinnacle 2022 Open Lead Championships. We're here at Beta Boulevard today in Logan. We've got an amazing lineup of climbers here today from all over the country, different states, and actually some international climbers as well. Let's go and have a bit of a chat to some of them in the gym. Let's check it out.
My name's Estelle. I am a rocket climber, Sunny Coast represent. The reason why I'm here, I love it. Being part of the environment and the community here is super fun.
All right, I'm Jack Brown. I'm a competitor. Yeah, born and bred Queensland. So
I'm Andy Brown. I'm here because of Jack Brown. Or Emily.
Great, awesome. I'm Emily and I work at Pinnacle Sports. And this is my son, Clayton.
I'm Clayton. I've been dragged along by her.
Is it on? Is this working? My name is Max, and I'm a climber for the Open A category. I'm here to win.
my name's Marlo. I'm Open A climber, and I'm here to beat this guy.
I'm Will. I'm just here to support everyone.
I'm Ash, and I'm also here to win the Open A females category.
I'm Em. I'm in Open A Females and I'm here to beat Ash for the first time in 8 years.
So I'm Victor. I'm one of the setters who set the comp here. Long week. Yeah.
Chalk, liquid or powder?
Ooh, tough one. I'd say both. Liquid and then put powder on after. It's perfect.
Powder.
Powder, definitely.
Yep, powder. Definitely powder. It's just better.
Powder. Powder's the go.
Well, the climbing community is really awesome. Ever since I was young, there's been all these older people that I've climbed with. They've supported me, they've climbed with me. I've gone with lots of people down to nationals without my parents before as well. So that's been pretty awesome.
And how has being in this climbing community changed your life and helped you meet people?
It's been massive. It's given me something to kind of look forward to. And it's given me just a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of friends. I mean, I work in a climbing gym, I route set, I climb, so it's, just enveloped my life,
To anyone, literally, pretty much every single climber I meet is a freaking awesome person. Just like good heart, good people, good moral values. We're in it to enjoy the sport. You can hear everyone cheering each other on. It's just like, Yep.
Did you ever think that your daughter would end up like competing in climbing or anything like that?
No, it was a bit of a shock. But no, she's done very well. Yeah.
That was that, folks. Fantastic to meet and see some of the climbers and the amazing action here today. Hope you enjoyed.
I'm Batman.
We've had an amazing weekend of climbing here, folks, at Beta Boulevard, and I'm speaking with Matt, one of the directors of Beta Boulevard. Matt, tell us a little bit about the venue, mate. It's been a fantastic event so far, but tell us about, how you guys came about.
Yep, so Beta Boulevard has been open since January of 2020, so a year and a half now. Before that, a number of years ago, people would know it as the Rock Climbing Gym. Unfortunately, they had to shut down, but then we were able to reopen it a year and a half ago.
But you've got a great community of climbers here. Tell us a little bit about the community and what people could expect coming down here to have a go.
Yep, I mean, there's a real tight community around this area in South Brisbane. But basically people are united around the lead climbing, really. Like here is a big thing. So lots of beginners coming with the aspiration of being able to learn how to do that. But yeah, it's a really tight, good group.
And do you guys run courses or programs? Part of what you do guys here is pioneering or not promoting the lead climbing, which is awesome. Fantastic venue for it. Yep. If someone was out there and they wanted to come down for the day, is there certain days, times? How does it work?
Yes, I mean, for your first visit any day, you don't have to be picky about that. But we do run a lot of courses and also just general squads. So the squads are from, just general fitness through to climbing technique. So we have full beginners come into squads and they just do it for fun fitness, instead of going to Easy Fit or somewhere like that. But then they progress up, and then the squads also cater for people doing full high-end technique as well. So the squads are a really good program, but then we also run a lot of learn to lead courses and different sort of specific courses if you want to progress into certain parts like that in climbing.
Yeah, and certainly leading indoors is a little bit different to outdoors. But it's fantastic to have such a great venue for beginners to learn the techniques before they go out into the wider world. So appreciate you guys putting this on this weekend. I know it's a massive effort from you and your team and all the volunteers. So thank you very much, mate. And if you want to have a crack at lead climbing, folks, come down to Beta Boulevard anytime, and Matt and the team will take care of you. All right, folks. Not. All right, a little bit of feedback there. Sorry about that, folks. All right, not long now for the podiums and presentations. All of the appeals have been completed, I believe, folks. So at the moment, right now, we have some winners of the Open A female and the Open A male right here. And at the moment, according to the scoreboard, in the Open A female, we've got our 3 winners here. Judith Carroll with the top. And then Claire Hall next on in second. And we have Tako Nakamura. Nakamura up in third. We do have a competition which is Queensland based only, so we got the competition winner and then we'll have the Queensland winner. Claire Hall will be the Queensland winner. Atako Nakamura will be the second. Ash Brooks will come in third for Queensland. Judith Carroll overall. Great to see her travelling and making the most of a bit of the competition practice. And we have, again, another winner from interstate, Leroy Harley, coming in with a top. Not a top in the final, sorry. Got the high point with 33 plus. Like I said before, when we were doing the scoring, folks, you can see a couple of people, Max and AJ, a little bit down there on 31 plus each. And you'll see that is decided when they're equal in the finishing or the standings. It is via count back to the qualifiers. And AJ. Not AJ, Max, sorry. A little bit better than AJ in that one. So again, we've got our overall competition winner, Leroy Harley, our Queensland state winner, Alexander Tchaikovsky, and Max Thomas and AJ Goldsmith coming in second and third in that process. So won't be long for the presentations in a minute, folks. And stick around. We'll put on a little bit of background music while we're waiting, and the presentations will be on momentarily. Don't go away.
Staying the same, the results are staying the same?
Yes, and you are
All right, folks, won't be long right now.
I'm only giving
Momentarily, we will have the winners up on the podium and the presentations. Just getting ourselves organised here at the 2022 Queensland Open Lead titles. All done and dusted. Climbing is done and dusted.
All right.
And
I just got the
I'll hand you
thumbs
over
up. We're good
to
go
our
to announce
MC
the
for the
winners.
day
Are we
for the
ready?
final presentations. Stick with us, folks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Do we have a list of socials? Who's?
It was Kyle.
Kyle, Natasha, Aaron, and Natasha. All right. So first up, we're going to announce the winners of the social category. But before I do that, I want to do a big shout out first. Pinnacle Sports, our sponsor. Wolf Sports Hydration, some of you got to drink it. Yes, some of you are still drinking it. Project Climbing Halls, amazing. Tendon Ropes. Sand Chalk. And most of all, Beta Boulevard, thank you so much for hosting it here. What an awesome gym to have this in, hey. I mean, look at the setting. Then there is, most of all, Sport Climbing Queensland and Sport Climbing Australia. It's completely volunteer run. Everyone from Sport Climbing Queensland is here on their own time. But also to the volunteers, like for all the volunteers that you've seen today wearing all those vests, you did amazing. Thank you so much for giving your time this weekend. Now, I've already mentioned the route setting in this gym, but can we just give it up for the route setters? Like, they did an amazing job. Amazing. And then there's one component we can't forget, and that's the live stream guys, and they're mostly sitting up there. Give it up for those guys, hey. Yeah, look at them, Jason and Marty. Now, you can go back to YouTube and the Facebook page of Beta and Facebook page of Sport Climbing, and you can re-watch both yesterday's and today's, the qualifiers and the finals. How good is that? All right, now let's get on. Do we want to find out who the winners are in the social category? Yes. So, on third place, we've got nobody else than Natasha. Woo! In second place, he's only been climbing for 6 months. We've got Aaron. So he's already promised me that he's going to compete in Masters next year. So Twee, where are you? You've got competition coming your way. All right. And then the last one, he's come back from a collarbone injury, I've been told, is Kyle. Woo! Keep it up for them, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for competing in socials. Next year, I want to see more than you guys, okay? If you can climb, you can compete in socials. All right, now let's go to the Women's Open A. Now, we're going to make two different announcements. The first one is going to be for the competition today. But because we've got some out-of-state visitors, I then will make also an announcement for the winners of the state titles, yes? All right, for the competition result, in third place, we've got Atako. In second place, we've got Clea. So Atako and Clea, you're going to get your presents later. But in first place, we've got Judith. Nicely done. Thank you so much. All right, so for the state winners, in third place, we've got Ash. In second place, we've got Atako. Paige, she's just been climbing. And in first place, we've got Clea. All right, now for the open A mail. First, we're going to do the competition. In third place, we've got Max. In second place, we've got Alex. And in third place, another interstate visitor, first place, sorry. Geez, taking me off the job. In first place, Leroy. Clearly, Queenslanders need to up their game in climbing. Well done, guys. You guys can come off. All right, now for the state winners. In third place, we've got AJ. In second place, we've got Max. And in first place, we've got Alex. Give it up for them, guys. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Now, that's the end of the 2022 state lead titles. Now, any one of you that has a little bit of spare time, can I ask, can you hang back and help us packing all this stuff up? Ben, that includes you. Thank you so much. You've been great. Thanks.
All right, there you have it, folks. All done and dusted here at the Open Queensland Lead Title 2022. You've seen your winners. Thanks for joining us online, folks. Jason Witten here with you and the live stream team. Done and dusted for this competition. Live from Beta Boulevard, folks. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Hopefully the live stream was enjoyable and very fun. It was certainly a bunch of great time here had by all competitors, volunteers and the team alike. Until we see you next time, you guys take care out there. Bye for now.